Hello, this is Mark Sabatella from Outside Shore Music. In this video, I'm going to talk about three different names for what is essentially, actually it is literally the same chord, but it goes by three different names. So first I'm going to talk about kind of the traditional classical naming, and then I'll talk about a couple of other names that you might sometimes see. So the chord in question is, the classical name is the half-diminished chord, all right, or half-diminished seventh chord more particularly. So if we take a diminished triad like D, F, and A flat, there's two types of seventh chords we can add on top of that. This is all minor thirds. If I add another minor third on top, technically that would be C flat, I get what's called a fully diminished chord. But if I add a major third on top, and therefore it's a C natural, I get this chord, which is a half-diminished seventh chord. So the symbol for that is D, and then a circle with a slash through it. This is the symbol for half-diminished, and then you should put the 7 after it, because there's no such thing as a half-diminished triad. That wouldn't really make sense, but you should include the 7 to be explicit about that. So half-diminished seventh is that chord derived from the diminished chord, and we add a seventh. Now, the other naming for that same chord is based on the fact that, well, this chord here would be D minor 7, and if we then take that chord and take the A natural and flat it, we get that same chord. So D minor 7 flat 5. All right, that is the naming that is more common in the jazz world. And I'm going to come back at the end of this and talk about why these names are what they are and why they might be preferred in different contexts. The third naming, so D minor 7 flat 5 is that naming, right? The other naming is based on the fact that if you take that chord and just look at the top three notes, that is an F minor chord, right? So an F minor chord with a sixth would be F minor sixth, and of course you can invert the chord if you want to say F minor 6 slash D, if you're assuming that D to be in the bass, whatever. The chord is F minor 6. It's the exact same set of four notes. So that is another naming for it. So the question would come up, well, when is each name appropriate? This is a subjective matter. I'll give you my opinion on this. The half-diminished is easy to say. I will say half-diminished. Those are the words that will come out of my mouth. But I don't like writing that symbol if I'm writing, say, a lead sheet or an arrangement. If I'm writing it as a chord symbol, I don't like the symbol because it's too easy to confuse for the fully diminished seventh chord. That's one reason to, there's other reasons I don't love that symbol. But in any case, it is absolutely correct when doing analysis of classical music. You absolutely use the half-diminished symbol. And I will say it even when talking about jazz, but if I'm writing out an arrangement, I will generally write the minor 7 flat 5. Even though it's quite a bit longer to write out, it's going to convey to the reader what's going on. It behaves like other minor 7 chords. Typically, it resolves down a fifth. It really connotes the right thing to a musician who is perhaps improvising voicings and melodies based on that chord symbol. The minor sixth spelling was popular in sheet music in the early part of the 20th century, and you'll mostly see it there. But it's also important to realize that that is the correct spelling if this is not actually acting like, well, these chords, these spellings here are, I'm spelling them with D as the root, indicating that this is probably the 2 chord in the key of C minor. It's part of a 2-5-1. F minor 6 is, well, that's the 4 chord in C minor. And of course we can borrow this chord in major keys. So in major keys you might see that chord as well. It's just being borrowed from minor. F minor 6, instead of feeling like it needs to resolve to G7, when I spell it this way, I'm indicating it's behaving like a 4 chord. And I'm probably going to want to resolve it directly back to 1. 4 to 1. Whereas the others are probably going to 5 and then 1, either major or minor. So, those are three different spellings for what is essentially the same chord. Slight quibble about the arrangement of the notes in one of the spellings, but voicings, notes can occur in any order. Three different spellings for three different purposes, but they all refer to the same chord. Half diminished, minor 7 flat 5, or minor sixth can all be the same chord.